Wood turning can be a dangerous craft, and ever since my accident in amputating my finger, I've had time to think about the vital pieces of safety equipment that I use on a daily basis when I'm at the lathe or within the environment of my workshop. I'm not here to tell you how to run your workshop. I'm not here to tell you which piece of kit to go out and buy. That is your responsibility to go and try it and make sure it works for you. Safety is your responsibility at the end of the day. The buck stops with you. So let's get right into it and talk about the first piece of kit, and that is the Honeywell Bionic Face Shield. So this mask, I really can't fault it. I wear it every time I'm turning, when I'm roughing out. If I need my respirator, I just put my 3M on. But you can wear this and wear a respirator underneath. You can also wear it whilst wearing your safety glasses as well. So these are prescription safety glasses and I wear them all the time. They say on their website that there's 2,784 different ways that you can move this shield around to suit your head shape, which I found was really cool. There's these little tabs on the inside of the harness that adjust the shield forward and back and up and down, and it's just really cool. Everything is replaceable within the shield. The visor, like the actual shield itself, the frame, the harness, and the sweatband. It's like 36 degrees today in the shop. So yes, I have several and I wash them all the time and just put them back on. So that is replaceable. One thing that I have found when I wear this mask, I bought a heap of these 3M VersaFlow shield covers. So they're just a secondary way of protecting the actual main shield. And I wear them because I don't know about you, if you've ever left super glue on the lathe and turned it on and it sprays all up your shield. This will save the actual shield itself. You just peel them off and put a fresh one on. But I forgot to put a fresh one on and then turned it back on, so my fault. But they are a good idea, and you put them on your VersaFlow. They're designed for that, but I find them really useful for the Honeywell Bionic as well. It's anti-fog, so it won't fog up when you're working away. If you're a heavy, deep breather with a lot of heat, it won't fog up, and I just find it really good. There's a full field of view. You won't have any uninterrupted view. Like if you've borrowed someone's car or rented a car and you've got those rails, those really annoying rails that are in your field of view, you don't have any of that at all. So that's why I really like it. Number 2 is ear protection. When I knew that I had hearing problems is when my wife would come down to the TV room, which is about 20 meters away, and tell me to turn it down, and I could barely hear the TV. I'm 36 years old and the volume is always above that 60 volume thing on the telly. So that's when I really started paying more attention to wearing my hearing protection. And these are just simple, old-fashioned ear muffs. There's a lot out there on the market, and I tend to wear these a lot when I am wearing when I'm sanding especially, because anything between that, I believe it's 60, I'll put the actual correct stat on the screen, I believe it's between 60 to 120 decibels over a long period of time will cause hearing loss. So, and I can attribute a lot of my hearing loss to my military days, but the beauty about these old-fashioned earmuffs is when I wear my VersaFlow, they sit nicely around the sides like so. You can buy earmuffs that attach to the side of the VersaFlow, but I choose to just wear these. I've found when I wear my noise cancelling headphones in the workshop, they work inside here when I've got the dust collection going and the room air filter going. I'll talk about those too. But I find that they just don't fully cut the noise out when I am chainsawing. So when I'm chainsawing, I wear a set of these, or you might be familiar with the squishy earphone protectors. But the choice is totally up to you, and whatever you choose to wear has to suit your comfort and your need. I had a lot of difficulty at the start trying to find a nice set, and these we've had for years, and I just thought they weren't going to work, and I put them on and they were absolutely perfect. So if the wheel ain't broken, don't fix it. Moving on to the dust collection unit. This unit in particular is a 2 horsepower unit fitted with a pleated filter. The pleated filter says that it can cover a larger surface area, up to 700% more surface area, and captures dust up to 1 micron. The filter is super easy to clean. I just rotate the top arm up around there and it swings a little paddle with inside the unit itself, which knocks all the dust down into the bag. It was an added expense, but I can't say that I now want to change back to a bag unit. It's got a 4-inch hose connected to it, which then runs up to the lathe on an adjustable mounting arm, which allows me to swing it over for wherever I'm sanding on the lathe. It gets right up close and it just sucks it straight in. But whilst I am using the dust collection unit, I use my Inroom filter simultaneously with my respirator on at all times. Back down at the unit itself, before the fan, you have the option of having a 2-port system, but I've taken that off, and a gentleman on Instagram said to extend out with a bit of PVC pipe, a 4-inch 100mm bit of pipe, and that increases the draw into the fan, making it the unit more effective. I'm not too sure if that's true, but I have it right there at the lathe anyway, and it's been great. The bags are super easy to change, and I tend to not capture all the saw chips up with it. I sweep them up and throw them in ICB tubs. This is purely for dust for me, and it just does, I think it does a great job in conjunction with the Inroom filter. So I want to talk quickly about work boots, and these are steel capped work boots, and I know you're probably thinking, come on Kez, but this is just what I wear every time I'm wood turning to keep me safe so I can continue to turn every day when I'm able to. So these work boots are made in Australia. They're by a company called Mongrel, and they have saved my feet so many times. I don't know if you can see that. I'll get a close up in a sec, but my work boots have been absolutely hammered, and you can just see that dropping things on them, a bowl flying off the lathe, you drop a big bowl blank on them, it's going to save your feet. So I chose to go with steel cap work boots. They're anti-slip, and these ones are super comfortable. They just slip on, you just pull them on, they're really easy to put on. I don't like the lace-up boots. I find them cumbersome, the laces break, or they perish. But the old slip-on work boots, you can't fault them, and I've dropped things. I don't know if you kicked the corner of the couch or anything like that. I couldn't think of anything worse. You're out in your shop and you boot yourself, or you boot something or something sharp like a gouge drops on your foot. I don't want that happening to me because that'll slow things up. So work boots, I wear them every day. Next up is a Woodturner's Smok. And I know I've spoken about these previously, but I can't overemphasize how much I enjoy wearing a Smok and how much my wife enjoys me wearing one as well. This is actually a Smok by an older gentleman who has since passed away. So I've got a lot of respect for this wood turning Smok, and I was lucky enough to receive it. But Smoks will protect all your clothes. It will protect your skin as well, and it also ensures a safe environment when you are turning, because when you wear other clothes, they tend to drape down. So if I was wearing this shirt without the buttons done up, for example, or a loose bit of material, the actual Smok itself will pull all that material in. I wear a long sleeve Smok most of the time when I'm turning, because lately previously before I hurt my finger, some of the material was causing some irritation to my skin. So it was protecting my skin, all the chemicals from going on my clothes and potentially going on my skin as well. It was protecting me. They're super convenient. You can store all your pens and pencils and rulers and all that, so you never end up losing them, because I have heaps of rulers and pens and pencils and I can never find them, but I've always got them in my wood turning Smok. I own several Smoks, and one downside to a wood turner Smok is that the zips are not the best quality. So if I was you, if you bought a Smok, check out the zip. If it's of poor quality, it looks really thin and flimsy, just get it taken off and put a heavier duty zip on. As well, for when you wear, I know I don't like wearing things up around my neck as well, but the Velcro tends to wear down a little bit with use, but also sometimes the Velcro that comes on the Smok isn't the best quality. So get that replaced as well. But Velcro's up around your neck and it stops all the shavings from going down the front of your shirt. I also wear a Bonds shirt underneath as well, which is the circular neck when I'm turning at all times. And yeah, I can't fault wood turning Smoks. They got the pleats at the back, and the material allows anti-static, so you won't find that dust will stick a lot to you when you're wearing them, or chips and stuff. But the chips do end up going in the pockets, and a really easy way to get rid of that is to get a pencil and put it up the pocket like so, and just give it a jiggle around, and your partner will thank you, because when they go in the washing machine, that all doesn't come out in the washing machine. So especially if you have a family member that might be allergic to certain types of timbers, and you're turning in your normal clothes, and you walk inside and then you spread that dust or some wood chips around, and then you find out that they have a reaction to it. So it's just another way of protecting yourself and your environment and those around you. And I can't fault wood turning Smoks, and you'll see all the professional wood turners wearing them every time they turn. So now I want to talk about the 3M VersaFlow. For me, I always wear a 3M VersaFlow or a respiratory unit of some sort, or a face mask. I have my air filtration running in the shop to protect the environment, and I also have my dust collection unit running. I also wear a respiratory mask when I'm turning wet timber that is heavily spalted, or timber that is heavily spalted in general, because that fungi, I don't want it flying around and breathing it in. I also wear this when I'm turning in general. I wear it when I'm wet turning, when I'm turning pieces to finish, because I find it so comfortable. It is pretty much the most expensive piece of kit in this shop, apart from the lathe. They are very costly. I'll link a video up here, as well as down in the description. I am pointing, I'm trying to point up there, as well as down in the description below, that will talk to you about the whole unit and the breakdown of cost. But how it works briefly is that the battery sits on the bottom here. You can buy different batteries, longer batteries. This one I get about 8 hours of work out of. And those bars there, you can check the battery. It clips up underneath, inside here, so when you turn it on, the air gets pulled in through the bottom here, in these vents. It pulls the air up through there into the filter. It goes past this first little filter here, which I just vacuum off, and this filter here. You can buy several different filters. You can buy the charcoal for vapors and things like that, but this is a particulate filter for this unit for particles. One really cool thing that I learnt off my father-in-law is to always write the dates of when you changed your filters, and that just jogs your memory when you go, how long have I cleaned that filter? And you can go in there and check it out. I do it on the oil filters for the car, and the batteries, and every filter on the mowers and everywhere. So it's just a really handy little thing to do. And thanks Dad. That goes in there. An easy way to put that back on, I just vacuum the front. I tend to not blow it out with compressed air, because it ruins the little fins that collect the little pleated filters, the pleated things. It tends to ruin them. So it goes in there like that, one side, and clips in. Really easy to do. There's 2 modes, and there's also a warning light from when you turn it on that will tell you that the actual filter is full and it needs to be cleaned or it needs to be changed. So it's just running through a startup process. That air is getting pulled in, and that simply just gets worn around the back. So you do the belt up and it gets worn there, and it's just giving me a status of how everything is going. The air is getting pulled up through the pipe into the mask, and then it gets pushed down over the front of your face through that little, what colour is it? Little purple, or is it purple? Through there. And that then goes down over the front of the face shield. You can adjust it. Everything on this mask is replaceable. You can replace the head units. So you can buy the one that looks like it inflates. You can buy ones with shrouds, all types of things if you're working in, like, a chemical environment. But this mask, can't fault it, and I wear it pretty much every time I turn now, just because I want to be super careful for when I'm older. This 3M VersaFlow here, when you do wear it, I always make sure I have a really good seal around my face like that. It's adjustable at the back there. You can adjust it, tighten it up and down. You can move it around just like you would do with your bionic face shield. Now I want to talk about my in-room filter. The unit itself is by Carbotech, not sponsored, and it is a AF2000C. The reason why I chose this unit itself, because it's the most powerful unit you can buy, and the downside to that is it's quite hefty. It weighs about 50 kilos, and you can either store it on a bench or you can have it up high. And I've got it up high, and the frame itself is on casters, so I can wheel it around. I position it off the wall and forward facing towards the lathe when I'm running the unit. The air gets drawn through the filter on the front, which I clean with a vacuum cleaner, and then it gets drawn in through the fan, and then clean air then gets pushed past another filter out the back. This unit in particular has an airflow of 1,700 cubic feet per minute, meaning my shed is a 6 by 6 metre and 3 metres high, and it cycles the air within this shed, if I've done my math right, 26 times an hour. And how I checked the effectiveness of the unit was I was doing a massive day of sanding before a festival or before I take stock in. I came out that night time whilst the unit was running itself. All the shed was closed up, the shop, and I turned the lights off and came in with a torch only to see if I could see any fine particles floating through the air, and I couldn't. So I give it props because it actually works and does the job and makes my environment so much safer, because I don't know if you've experienced it when you go and walk around and you can touch a horizontal surface or something and you can find all that really fine dust, and that's the stuff that will catch up to us in the long run, unfortunately. But it was quite an expensive machine, but I can't fault it. I run everything at the same time, the dust collection as well as my respirator, and I feel fully covered and safe in this environment, especially if someone came in through the door to have a chat to me, Nadine, or the dogs came in. I know that they're not breathing in all that dust. So now I've got all my safety equipment. What about all the other tasks that encompass the whole craft of wood turning? All the other little tools, things when I want to move big logs around, or the chainsaws that I use, and what other options are out there. If that interests you, I've linked a video just here that explains my whole process and all the tools that I use. Go check it out there, and I'll see you directly. Cheers.